Today's topic is why not event-driven scheduling, why you don't want to use event-driven job scheduling. So let's just talk about some of the reasons. First reason, you obviously have unlimited resources. You have unlimited network bandwidth, unlimited processing power, unlimited database storage. You also have unfettered access to your data. Your data is never tied up by another process. You're never transforming that data, right? It's always just exactly the way you want it. There's no required order for your tasks. There's no reason to run them in a specific order because every task exists in a perfect little bubble where it runs, it creates its data, and then it's just done, whenever. And no time limits either, right? We don't need time limits. Nothing ever has to be done on time. It's ready when it shows up, right? Also, all of your data, because you did such a good job of setting everything up, because there was never any levels of, there were multiple people working on things, there were multiple regimes, there were different systems that were brought in at different times and now have to be integrated. All of your data and all of your processes are 100% segregated from each other. None of them touch each other, none of them work together. And then the last reason, it's phone calls for me. Processes will not grow in length. They're never going to get any longer. So you're never going to get more data in the system than you have right now. Your reports that run over that stuff are never going to take a longer time to generate. It's just always going to be right in that same time window. So what you really end up with is a schedule that looks like this. It's very Gantt charty. And so here we have process A, and process A starts at 10 o'clock and gets done, well, generally about 9:50, but we won't start the next process in the thing until 10:30, right? Or 11 o'clock is what we're doing. And so here's process B, and then we leave another little gap here. And then we've got process C. So at the end of every one of these, tasks, every one of these jobs, what you're going to have is a nice little window here that's going to protect you from boiling over the end. Now, of course, everything that I've described here is really not rooted in reality. It's rooted in kind of a fantasy world that I'm really using just to kind of drive home a point here. When we talk about it, really we need to talk about why event-driven job scheduling, because you don't have unlimited resources. Your resources are limited. You only have so much to work with. Your data will be busy at times. There will be times that you just cannot allow things to be running simultaneously, right? So sometimes your data is going to be tied up. It's going to be under transformation. You're going to be doing backups. You can't run reports during backups, right? You have an order that the steps have to run in because you're using different pieces. And the different, step A does something, step B does something, but it's over the same data. And for B to run correctly, A has to be 100% done. Okay? You also have time limits. And time limits come up really strongly here when you've got slack built into your schedule. You want to get rid of this slack. You don't want it. Your data and your processes are not segregated. They all are in the same network. They're all in the same database. Also, your processes will grow in length over time. Okay? You're going to get more data. You're going to have more history. You're going to have more things to process. So eventually you are going to bomb out over the end of this window. And then B is not going to run correctly. And yeah, you can fix that in one day, right? But it's a pain, and it's a waste, and it takes you away from the other things that you're supposed to be doing. So, event-driven processing drives us through reaction between the jobs. The jobs have to be able to see each other, monitor the status, and then when it's completed, right away, run the next job, rather than trying to establish things into a Gantt chart kind of setup. Okay, I think I've made my points here. So, event-driven scheduling is a really good idea. You should use it. It lets you avoid a lot of common problems that IT groups have. It helps you overcome disparate systems that you might have gotten through acquisitions or mergers, things like that. And it protects you from this, which your processes are going to grow in length over time. Thank you. See you next week.